right? So एक chain बन जाएगा. I've told you every time that whenever you're starting anything, you should do it in a synchronized manner, in a sequential manner. Why? Because it gives the memory what? An idea. It gives an indication that okay, इसके बाद ये है, this is इसके बाद second step ये, third step ये. Then we did what? Components of, right. So tell me what we have done in the previous. Ecosystems, right? So this was covered. Now we are going to start with a very new topic. New students in the class attending online? Okay. Okay. So what we were doing in the previous classes, we were doing ecological. Now we have to start today with any issue. Okay. So now today we have to start with what? Ecological succession. A very new topic for everyone. Somebody who has not taken 2 or 3 classes of mine, previously jitne bhi classes hui hain, so no, there is no problem with that, right? Because this is purely new topic and I'm going to explain you in a way that you don't have any problem with that. Okay? What is ecological succession? So the topic is ecological succession. What is ecological succession? What is that? New community aa jati hai. This is not the uh, universal way of explaining ecological succession. You are explaining the type of succession. That is the type of succession that you are telling. What is succession? When something is proliferating, right? Something is happening, right? So there can be different modes of that we can discuss. Okay, what can be the different modes? It could be primary, it could be secondary. This is what we call it in academics language. ठीक है, प्राइमरी भी हो सकता है, सेकेंडरी भी हो सकता है, लेकिन अपने लेमन लैंग्वेज की समझने के लिए व्हाट इज इकोलॉजिकल सक्सेशन. आई डोंट वांट टू जंप ऑन टू द language of book. Why? Because it will help you to retain only for the prelims या फिर mains. I want you to understand it so that you can also remember even if you do not revise it, right? You can have a little bit idea about ecological succession. क्या है ecological succession? Ecological क्या है? सबसे पहले ये देखो. What is ecological? Related to ecosystem. Succession means add हो रही है कोई चीज, right? So something is adding. कुछ चीज add हो रही है, succession, right? Succession को word को काट दो, what do you get? Something is adding up, right? So what is adding up? क्या add हो रहा है? What is adding up? Either it's species, yes please, either it's species or it's herbs etc. कुछ भी add हो रहा है. For example, if I have a barren land और वो बिल्कुल new है, then I will predict that something will go on this, maybe the small herbs, maybe then some other predators will come there, species will migrate from the different areas to that place in search of food, right? So if I say something is growing on a very barren rock land, जिसपे पहले कभी सक्सेशन हुआ है, मतलब सक्सेशन मीन्स कभी कुछ ग्रो हुआ ही नहीं है, which I call it as primary succession. Primary succession means nothing has grown on that land ever before. अब आप ये बोलोगे कि मैम is this possible? Why? Because everywhere we see plants. Something तो must have grown there, na? How we can say that is primary? See, primary can exist under the glaciers. For example, there was a glacier covered with that area and there was no vegetative growth on that land. And then when the glaciers recede, glaciers के नीचे क्या निकलेगा? Rocks, land. So we can predict that something will grow on these lands someday, right? So these are primary. This is one of the type. This is one of the example of primary. ठीक है? अगर हम बात करें volcanic lava, So lava is coming out. Lava से क्या बनता है? कौन सी rocks बनती है? हाँ, igneous rocks. Igneous rock बिल्कुल new है, right? When lava will come out, it will eventually solidify over the period of time. This is what? This is called igneous rocks. And this igneous rock will have what? Then herbs, shrubs, etc. This is also example of primary. Now, in some case, if I'm having a very, very vast land which full of vegetation, very great vegetative growth, species are also there, excellent ecosystem. But someday the forest fire catches up the area. What will happen then? क्या होगा फिर? Destroy हो जाएगा. So can what you can believe, you can see that a vegetative growth which was full at its full peak declined, right? So क्या जब decline हो जाएगा, will I consider that as a primary only? No. Why? Because something was already present there. Maybe some herbs, weeds, ashes, right? Because the forest fire will leave ashes. There will be a lot of debris present there. So there will be a lot of nutrients which will be present in that area. So I am not starting from the scratch. I am starting from the middle part, middle second stage, right? Middle stage or a second stage is a better word. I'm starting from there, right? Then अगर उसके बाद फिर जो growth होता है, I call it as सेकेंडरी सक्सेशन. कितने लोगों को इतना बात समझ में आया है? इसमें अभी हमने कुछ बुकिश लैंग्वेज ज्यादा यूज नहीं किया है. वी हैव जस्ट एक्सप्लेन्ड यू व्हाट इज इकोलॉजिकल सक्सेशन एंड व्हाट आर इट्स टाइप. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव गॉट दिस? कोई डाउट किसी भी चीज में? एनीथिंग? नो? ठीक है. Can we write general definition of ecological succession, which is important for your mains if it is asked? Write down ecological succession. Good morning, Rashi. Good morning, Ayushi. Ecological succession. Write down. Ecological succession is the process of, it is a process of change in, it is a process of change in species structure, change in species structure of an ecological community over the period of time. Write down. Full stop. Second point. The time scale can be decades, like 10 years. The time scale can be decades. For example, time year can be decades. For example, after wildfires. After wildfires. Next point, succession can be initiated. Succession can be initiated by the formation of, succession can be initiated. Are you still writing? I mean, this, you're writing this? Take your time, no problem. First write this. When you just complete it, let me know. All right. So write down. Succession can be initiated either by formation of new comma, either by formation of new comma, uninhabited, unoccupied habitat, unoccupied habitat, unoccupied habitat, comma, such as from a lava, such as from, such as from lava, lava. I'm writing on the board, or severe landslides, or severe landslides. To lava or severe landslide, or by some form of, or by some form of disturbance in the community, or by some form of disturbance in the community. अगर लैंडस्लाइड हो जाएगा तब भी न्यू रॉक निकलेगा नीचे से. अगर lava will come out, then there, this is also one of the sign that a new rock is there, right? And what else? It can be also through glaciers receding. If you want to write that example, that is also valid in this part. Okay. Now write down basic types of succession. Basic types of succession. What are the two basic types of succession? One type that we are having is primary succession, and the other one is secondary succession. Primary succession and secondary succession. Write down under primary succession first. In any of the basic environments, in any of the basic environments, Russia will explain secondary succession after primary succession. In any of the basic environments, example, terrestrial, comma, fresh water, comma, marine, one of the types of succession is, one of the types of succession is primary succession. One of the types of succession is primary succession, which starts from, which starts from primitive, which starts from primitive, I'm writing the spelling here, primitive substratum. Primitive means primary, pehla, substratum. Substratum means, what do you mean by substratum? Something which is We just started. Okay, the base, comma, full stop, substratum, full stop. Where there was no previously, where there was no previously any sort of, where there was no previously any sort of living matter, where there was no previously any sort of living matter, where there was no sort of living matter. क्या नहीं था पहले? लिविंग मैटर नहीं था. ठीक है, राइट डाउन the first group of, full stop, the first group of organism establishing their, the first group of organism establishing their are known as pioneers. Have you missed something? Have you missed something? The first group of organisms, the first, आपने कुछ मिस किया क्या? फाइन, सब एक ही पेज पे, एवरीबॉडी ऑन सेम पेज. ठीक है, ओके, राइट डाउन the first group of organisms establishing there are known as pioneers. 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 What do you mean by literal meaning of pioneers? No. Somebody who is leading. Pioneer. Right? Right? Pioneer means what? सबसे पहले कौन आएगा? ये स्पीशीज आएंगी, राइट? इनके बाद आपका other things will proliferate. When herbs will come, then different microorganisms will come.
Ma'am, what spelling did you set for pioneer?
It's written on the board. It's written on the board. It is Pioneers written on the board. Okay. So this is what, right? So can I say that pioneers is a feature of primary succession? Pioneer species, right? Pioneer species is one of the feature of primary succession. How many of you have understood this part? Clear, right? Primary succession. Okay, can I add something else also in it? Done? Write down. Pioneer stage. इसी के अंदर लिखेंगे pioneer stage. Pioneer. Pioneer stage. Pioneer stage, right? Write down. It refers to initial stages. It refers to initial stages where life. It refers to initial stages where life colonizes. Life colonizes. Where life colonizes the barren land. Life colonizes the barren land. Full stop. It is characterized by establishment of pioneer species. It is characterized by establishment of pioneer species that can thrive in the harsh climate, that can thrive. New admission, you have just joined today only. That can thrive in the harsh climate, that can thrive in a harsh climate, right? Next point, it is still nutrient poor. It is still nutrient poor, and it is nutrient poor, and the process of soil formation has begun. That means that nothing is what in a good amount. Nutrient भी rich नहीं होगा. क्यों nutrient poor होगा? Why? Because nothing has started. It has just started its life. You can say so. So when they have just started their journey, started their life, do you think it will be nutrient rich? Not at all. If some days asked in the prelims that these kind of what pioneer stage, you are having what pioneer stage is under what the primary succession. So primary succession may it is nutrient poor, nutrient rich, neutral, or very extremely nutrient rich. Then what answer you will have? It is nutrient poor, because they have just started their journey. There is no point that they will have more nutrients with them, right? Next, write down. That's all. Now we have to start with what? Yes. Just see if you have any doubt, then we'll move forward. You expected to get at least one question from this, no doubt. What's your name? Acha, you have taken that classes already. Okay, okay. So today we have started with extremely new topic. So there is no connection with the previous one. And okay, so I didn't know that. I thought you were online only. Okay, okay. Just see the because you don't need to watch the previous lecture. This is extremely new topic that we have started today. All right. Now, what second thing that we are having? Secondary successions, right? Write down secondary succession. Secondary succession. कैसे स्टार्ट होगा? आफ्टर हैविंग समथिंग, जैसे वाइल्ड फायर्स हो जाता है, तो वी हैव समथिंग एटलीस्ट प्रेजेंट इन दैट बैरन लैंड. ठीक है. नाउ राइट डाउन. इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम प्रीवियसली बिल्ट अप. इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम previously built up. Underline the word built up. Built up substrata. Built up substrata. Built up substrata. What do you mean by strata? Layers, right? You have already built a base, right? Write down built up substrata with already existing living matter. With already existing living matter. Full stop. The action of any external force, the action of any external force, such as sudden changes in climatic conditions, such as sudden changes in climatic conditions, such as sudden changes in climatic conditions. Next, like comma, biotic interventions. Can you tell me what kind of biotic interventions we can have? Any one of you? एक small ecosystem है and biotic intervention हो गया. What kind of biotic interventions can we have? Only one example I need. Huh? Birds, right? What they can do? They can destroy. I want biotic intervention which can actually destroy an ecosystem. Any biotic intervention. So now it's not biotic. It's abiotic. Abiotic. Huh? What? Humans. Yes, humans can do that. Obviously, biotic. That is one of the biotic, but that's very obvious. Can we one? Humans तो करते ही रहते हैं biotic interventions. उनको रोका जाता है कि नहीं करना है biotic intervention. Tell me. इतना लंबा discussion. Share.
Animals.
Yes, animals. कैसे animals? What kind of species? How? Give me example. Exact example, ना? Huh? Overgrazing. Yes.
Rabbit.
Very good.
Ma'am, rabbit burrowing in the land.
I didn't get you.
Ma'am, rabbit burrow जो करता है land में.
अच्छा. Okay.
Ma'am, overgrazing cattle, like overgrazing animals.
हाँ, overgrazing can be the one of the example. I'm agreeing with that. But what else? और क्या हो सकता है?
Ma'am,
What about
am
invasive
I
species?
audible?
What about invasive species? How many of you would know what is invasive species? The uncalled guest. You have not invited them. The uncalled guest, and you don't like those guests at all. Why? What are invasive species? How many of you know what is invasive? Huh? हाँ, एक तरह से attack ही करना, right? So there are some species which will come, and we call them as invasive species. They will come and what? They will destroy a particular area. क्यों destroy कर देंगे? हाँ? Yes, taken over कर देंगे, and that's why we have to be very careful of these invasive species. If they'll come to that particular ecosystem, they will destroy it. Right? So this is one of the example that we can, this biotic intervention we can include. Okay? The floods, tsunami, etc., wildfire that you have introduced, those are abiotic interventions. Okay? Okay. Next. Comma, fires, etc. Fires, etc. causes the existing community. That is also nice, Shalini. Excellent. Locust attack. Excellent. Because ये आपकी न्यूज में भी था, करंट अफेयर्स में, I think 2-3 years back, and it keeps on happening. But in 2-3 years back, there was a intense locust attack. What is that? Locusts are species. What species? Huh? They come in what? Groups, and they attack, and they just spoil what? The agriculture, etc. Whatever crop yield that you have. In 2022, I guess, or 21, there was a severe locust attack that happened just after COVID. Okay. Write down. Full stop. Thus, area becomes. Thus, area becomes devoid of living matter. Thus, area become devoid of living matter, but its substratum, but its substratum is built up, is built up, right?
मैम आपने प्रीवियस लाइन पूरी नहीं की थी, एक्स्ट्रा कॉजेज द एग्जिस्टिंग के बाद
Causes existing, what is it? Community to disappear. Community to disappear, right? Now write down examples of secondary successions. Examples of secondary successions. Examples of secondary succession. Write down. First one, a stable forest community. A stable forest community. राइट, सेकेंडरी में क्या होगा, आपका अच्छी फॉरेस्ट कम्युनिटी स्टेबल होगी, राइट. नेक्स्ट, सेकंड, a disturbance such as fires can occur. A disturbance such as fires can occur. Next, yes, you can write the examples of Australia, Amazon, Spain, and even you can read the case studies also whenever you get time. So you can go to Google and you can understand the case studies. But what happens? There was a recent report by European this Commission Union, okay, on the wildfires that the Europe is having, right? Because they are having a lot of wildfires, so they are predicting that lot of community, lot of species are going to get extinct because of that. Because this earlier it used to happen like frequently. Now they are happening very after every year. This is happening. Amazon also, because it's a very important dense tropical rainforest is there. That was also too much affected by it. Okay, so you can go to the site and you can take the PDFs from these area and you can study actually what is happening, what are the different consequences, and you can include them in your main answer writing, because this becomes your example. आपका जब ecological succession में it will ask you in the mains what is ecological succession, explain through examples. Now how you will distinguish from the other people? By writing more examples. Like she said, Australia mein, then you can explain how particular species was affected by that. There was a panda, it was very slow, right? Have you heard of it? What is the name of that species? बहुत slow होता है. That is your assignment. Go and figure out कि Australia में which all species were affected, especially.
Ma'am, there is one koala.
Yes. Good. No, that is different actually. Tell me the species which actually got affected. Do this case study. Just read that out. Okay. Okay. Now write down. Third, the fire leaves behind. The fire leaves behind empty The fire leaves
Ma'am,
behind. Yes.
ma'am,
And
whatever you are teaching in the everyday class, we'll get the notes of it also.
these are the notes only. This is
No,
every.
like the notes through Telegram. I'm saying, ma'am.
No, 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 no. Whatever I am telling you, I'm telling you in the class. And if there will be extra notes, that will be uploaded on your portal. You have your dedicated portal present, right? So that will be uploaded on your portal. There is a very formal thing that we are maintaining here. Everything that is to be dictated in the class, I'm dictating here. If I have to distribute other notes, that will be uploaded on a portal. For the people who are here, I will distribute physical copies, printouts, I mean. Okay? So there will be no informal kuch nahi hai. Everything is very formal and synchronized. Okay?
Okay,
All right.
ma'am.
The fire leaves behind empty. What I've written? The fire leaves behind empty. Write down destroyed soil. Empty and destroyed soil. Fourth point. Write down the fourth point. Grasses and other herbaceous plants. Grasses and other herbaceous plants grasses and other herbaceous plants grow back fast. Grow back fast. क्यों grow back कर जाएंगे? Because they already have a support. They already have a support. Fifth point. Fast growing evergreen trees. Fast growing evergreen trees and bamboo trees develop to their fast growing evergreen trees. Fast growing evergreen trees and bamboo trees develop to their fullest. Develop to their fullest. Right? Done? How many of you can get this till here? Just revise, take 2 minutes or 1 minute, revise and let me know if you're not getting anything.
Ma'am, in the last class, you were explaining aquatic zone. So only 2 points for that.
Yes, aquatic are not that important. Only two characteristics, etc. Who is asking? Bhavya. Yes. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
I think we have covered the aquatic completely in that class. So there was nothing to be added.
Ma'am, in the last class, we left with actually marine ecosystem under which it was aquatic zone.
No, so we have done that diagram, right? Photic, aphotic.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that was only there. सिर्फ इतना ही है उसमें. There is nothing extra to be
Oh,
added in that.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, shall we start now? Do you have any doubts? कोई doubts है? किसी को? Everything is clear? Now write down. Now first understand this point. See, every succession has a stage. Like we have discussed that primary succession and secondary, that is different part. But then succession hota kaise hai? There are different stages of that, right? So one is your primary stage that we are talking about. Then there is a intermediate stage. Intermediate means middle. And then there is a climax. We also call it as climax community. Primary community and intermediate community. What is that? See, every ecosystem has the capacity to grow to its fullest. There can be the chances, for example, 10 years I'm growing some ecosystem. So initially it will look like it is growing, it is budding. The right word is budding. So what will happen after 5 years down the line? I will see that some changes. The plants ecosystem has grown very well. Even the species are coming there. There's a lot of interdependency of different species and the plants I can see. Then 5 years more down the line, I can see that it has grown to its fullest. And there's a level. Uske baad it cannot grow, right? So when it has just started, I call it as primary, then intermediate, and then climax. Okay. So what will happen? What are the different characteristics of primary? We will write that. What is the different characteristics of intermediate and climate, right? Sorry, climax. So when from the climax, it can also change to intermediate. कैसे होगा climax से intermediate? Again, biotic and abiotic interventions. उन्हीं से होगा intermediate वापस. ऐसा तो that's why it is given what? Two arrows. It is not unidirectional. एक बार climax पहुंच गया तो वापस नहीं जा सकता. It can go back. So it's a process. Ecological succession is a process. It is a multi-step process. That's why this is also one of the characteristics of ecological succession. It is a multi-step. ऐसा नहीं है कि primary से सीधा it will go to climax. It has its own stages and we have to read those stages. I mean, we don't have to literally read those stages. I mean to say that every ecosystem has its stage through what it grows. जैसे आप छोटे पैदा होते हैं then you just don't go to adulthood. You have your teenage age, right? And everybody goes through that process. Nobody can be graduated without passing 10th and 12th boards. That is the stage that you have to follow. Similarly, succession has the stages. Stage this, intermediate, and your climax, right? All right. Now write down. Ecological succession goes through ecological succession goes through series of directional changes. Underline the word directional changes. Directional. It goes through directional changes. Spelling is this. If somebody is having problem in spelling, directional changes. Write down. It occurs when a series of communities. It occurs when a series of communities replace one another. It occurs when series of communities replace one and other due to large scale destruction, either natural or man-made, either natural or man-made. Right, on the next point, ecological succession is a multi-step, important point to be noted. It is a multi-step process. It is a multi-step process. It is a multi-step process. Right. Once, if you write, we'll draw a diagram in support of it. Just let me know. Done. Now draw the diagram. Write down this and explain them.
मैम बस एक वर्ड्स बता देंगे ना, बता देंगे क्या? समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। मॉसेस के ऊपर क्या लिखा है?
Weeds. अच्छा, वो lichens.
एंड मैम ये इंटरमीडिएट कम्युनिटी और उसके नीचे
Cereal. SERAL. Cereal community.
थैंक यू मैम।
ठीक है, not drawn already. Just let me know whenever you done drawing this. Okay, I hope that everybody has drawn this. So I'll explain each and every part of it. Okay, the first one is bare rock. Bare rock means, I told you there can be a number of examples of it, right? Your volcanoes, volcanic rocks, which is lava which has just got out, solidified, igneous rocks, your landslides, your glaciers receding, right? Everything can have what? This is a bare rock. Then lichens and mosses, which are the first species will come on any bare rock, which are lichen and mosses. You call them as pioneer community or species. सबसे पहले आने वाली species are lichens and mosses, or you can call it as pioneer community. सबसे पहले आने वाली species. The next stage that we are moving towards is weeds. जहाँ पे भी weeds और grass है, is the characteristics of intermediate species. If the weeds and grasses have come, then it is an intermediate. Your savanna is intermediate, right? Savanna grasslands. How many of you know? These are which type of grasslands? Tropical. What are steppies? Temperate grasslands. These are type of, because they have not gone through the fullest self. Why? Reason being, again, interventions, right? क्या है savanna में? What is there? Lot of climate, or like insolation is there, and less amount of water. So the intermediate stage पे है. So intermediate community, or we also call it popularly as cereal community. बहुत बार आपको ये word मिलेगा cereal, SERAL. Okay, so this is the main word, cereal community. We'll write about that. Don't worry, right? Cereal community. Next, herbs and shrubs are also part of it only. Then we have, जब trees आपके पूरे grow हो जाते हैं, you call it as climax community, right? Done? याद रहेगा सबको? फिर से देख लीजिए एक बार, and then we'll write about it. Pioneer community you have already written.
Ma'am, will you please explain for this weeds or grasses once again?
Okay, which part? Weeds and grasses. Okay, so weeds, see, after lichens and mosses, the possibility of weeds and grasses becomes higher. किसके बाद क्या आएगा? Weeds and grasses आएगा, right? And then herbs and shrubs. These are the intermediate. ये intermediate है. Intermediate community. Intermediate मतलब कि that has surpassed your this primary community वाला stage, and now it has come here, and there is a possibility that they can go towards the climax community where you will have the tall trees. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Can we write about serial community now? Write down. We have already written about pioneer community. Okay. Now we'll write about serial community. SERAL. Serial community. Write down. A serial community is an intermediate. Serial community is an intermediate is an intermediate. Underline the word intermediate. Stage found in an ecosystem. Is a stage found in an ecosystem advancing towards is its climax community. Advancing towards its climax. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि सीरियल कम्युनिटी हैज टू गो, उसकी क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी जाएगी ही जाएगी. See, this is not a mandate. There is a possibility. It's a possibility that we are talking about, right? That there is a possibility that it can go to climax community, but this is not mandate कि serial के बाद climax आएगा ही आएगा, right? Now write down full stop. In many cases, more than one. In many cases, more than one serial stage evolves. More than one serial stages evolve until climax community is attained. Climax community is attained. Write down. Full stop. Depending on the substratum, the serial community can be of the following types. Depending on the substratum, the serial community can be of the subtype. Now you can make a table and write different type of serial communities. Do you know about one of the glacier which is receding in Argentina? How many of you know about that? So if that glacier, because it was in news also in Indian Express, right? This glacier in Argentina is receding, and when it will recede fully, because the rate at which it is receding is very alarming. That's why the mentioning of that has been there in the Indian Express and various news channel as well. So what will happen? जो नया rock आएगा, that will be a new primitive substratum, और इसके ऊपर क्या होगा? Vegetation grow होगा. And it's not a very proud thing कि आपका vegetation grow हो रहा है, more land. glaciers are protecting you from a lot of things. If you go and have a time of reading how the glaciers are actually protecting you from a lot of devastating factors. Right? For example, there are many microbes which are dead in the glacier. Once they will recede, or maybe the temperature of them will decrease. What will happen? Sorry, the rate of temperature will increase. What will happen then? These microbes will get activated, and when they will get activated, what will happen? There is a possibility of disease spreading in the different parts of the area, and of which we do not have even the preparatory measures as well. Reason being, because in research also we cannot predict anything which has not come up, and also they have what? Antimicrobial resistance property. Antimicrobial resistance property is a property where, in if a human being, even if they have taken a tablet or anything, they have taken immunity against these kind of species, then what will happen? They can surpass them. I mean, they are not affected by antimicrobial this medicines, right? Resistance आ जाता है इनके अंदर. Okay, so that is the point. So there are many factors why glaciers का इंटेक्ट होना हमारे लिए बहुत बहुत important है, and especially Antarctica. Antarctica तो और ज़्यादा it is receding with a very alarming rate. Okay. Yes. Yes. Pakistan में. So there are many places which are dealing with this issue, right? So name of that is Perito Moreno. Perito Moreno, right? And there's a place also, there's a famous national park also near to that. You can just search it. It's Perito Moreno. In Argentina. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Now write down the types of Siri that we were having. Write down types of Siri. Write down. The first is name of the Siri and then area of succession. This can be asked like in 1 mark directly. You have to just mug it up like it only. Area of succession. Right, and the first is hydrocity. The first is hydrocity. Write down. It is in aquatic areas. Next, zero city. Can you tell me where will zero city will lie? Always cold deserts? Deserts only. Xerophytes. What are xerophytics? Tonsi plants. Cactus, right? Having what? Different characteristics we discussed. Okay. Zero city. Write down dry areas. Now it will include both hot and cold. Your cold deserts also and hot deserts also. Now write down lithocity. Lithocity. Bare rock. Bare rock. Next write down PSAMMORE. Samosity. PSAMMORE. Your species on land, sand. Next is hello Siri. Hello means the line. Hello. Write on a short note. All species at the intermediate stage is known as Siri means this. ठीक है, इससे ही क्या वर्ड आया है? सीरियल कम्युनिटी. ठीक है, और कुछ डिस्कस करना है आपको इसमें? आई थिंक एवरीथिंग इज डन. नेक्स्ट व्हाट वी शुड डिस्कस? क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी. राइट डाउन अबाउट क्लाइमेक्स. राइट डाउन क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी. हेडिंग डालेंगे क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी. Write down the final or stable community. The final or stable community the final or stable community in a city is the climax community. Final or stable community in a city is a climax community. Full stop. It is self-perpetuating. It is self-perpetuating. Perpetuating means developing. It is self-perpetuating and in equilibrium and with equilibrium with the physical habitat. With the physical habitat. कोई भी चीज इक्विलिब्रियम में कब आता है? जब जब स्टेबल होता है. कैन यू टेल मी वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल? किसी भी चीज से दे सकते हो, कोई भी फील्ड से, नॉट नेसेसरी नहीं है एनवायरनमेंट से दीजिए. केमिस्ट्री से भी दे सकते हो एग्जांपल. Can you give me one example of equilibrium? जब तक the thing will get changes, and once it will come in equilibrium, it will be the stable stage.
Conduction of heat. Conduction of heat.
Very good. Conduction of heat. Yes. Conduction of heat. Excellent. Conduction of heat means जब आपके two utensils will be at a different temperature and we keep them in proximity, in vicinity, what will happen? One is having low temperature, other one is having high temperature. They both will, with the help of transfer of heat, which you call it as the process of conduction. They will acquire the stage of equilibrium. Who has given this? किसने बताया था?
Sashi.
Good. ठीक है, conduction. ठीक है. Now, write down. There is no net annual accumulation. There is no net annual accumulation there is no net annual accumulation of organic matter in a climate community. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. क्यों ऐसा क्यों? Why? There is no annual. क्या हुआ? What happened? You're not getting? अच्छा, okay. There is no net annual accumulation of organic matter in a climate community. Why? कुछ net annual accumulation क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Because जितना ऑर्गेनिक मैटर प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है उतना यूज भी हो रहा है. एंड हु आर यूजिंग? प्लांट्स, राइट? Because microorganisms are present there, they are using them. So more they are producing the organic matter, the more it has been used. Because जितना food produce हो रहा है उतना food acquire भी हो रहा है. Just like that. So there is no net annual accumulation. ज़्यादा organic matter इसमें इकट्ठा नहीं होता है. Because plants are using it, different species are using it. So there is no net annual accumulation of organic matter in climate community. That is also one of the feature. ठीक है? Now write down characteristics of climate community. I hope this point is clear to everyone. Now write down characteristics of climate community. Characteristics of climate community. First one, the vegetation is tolerant. The vegetation is tolerant of environmental conditions. The vegetation is tolerant of environmental conditions. The vegetation is tolerant of environmental conditions. Second point, it has wide diversity of species. It has wide diversity of species. Well drained spatial means space, spatial structures. Well drained spatial structures. Next, complex food chains. We'll study about food chains. Just write down and underline this. Complex food chains. Complex food chains. Third point, we'll study about food chains, don't worry. The climax ecosystem. An important point, the climax ecosystem is balanced. The climax ecosystem is balanced. The climax ecosystem is balanced, full stop. There is equilibrium between gross production. There is equilibrium between equilibrium between gross production there is equilibrium between gross production and total respiration, between energy used from sunlight, between the energy used from sunlight and energy released by decomposition and energy released by decompositions.
आप यहाँ वाला एक बार रिपीट कर दीजिए, बिटवीन ग्रॉस प्रोडक्शन एंड टोटल
respiration, total respiration between energy used from sunlight and energy released by decomposition. Fourth point, important point, individuals in the climax community are replaced by same kind of species. What do you mean by same kind of species? That means they are not having what, एक level further level नहीं होता है, same level होता है, इसलिए equilibrium maintained रहता है. ठीक है, right? So what do you mean? Very important points that we have discussed is balanced. क्यों? Because equilibrium maintain होता है. The rate of production which is happening because of the sunlight. Sunlight से जितना absorb कर रहे हो, production हो रहा है. The production हो रहा है, and then what will happen? What will happen then? Production के बाद क्या हो रहा है? उतना ही decompose भी हो रहा है, और use हो रहा है decompose, then use हो रहा है then decompose, then what will happen? There is a set of equilibrium which is being maintained. ठीक है? Everybody is clear on that? So how many stages that we have? Please revise after me. How many stages that we have? Who's this? Okay, how many stages that we have? We have primary, we have intermediate. Please, everyone, last 1 minute. Primary. Huh?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Just hold on. Yes, बताइए. Primary, then intermediate, then climax. कितने stages है? 3 stages है. इसमें कोई भी आपको doubt अभी तक? Everything clear? Okay. Just revise whatever has been done till now. All right. Thank you so much, class. I'll take your doubts. Okay. Thanks.
Ma'am, can I tell my doubt?
Yes. बताइए.
मैम, ये जो आपने लिखा है बिटवीन ग्रॉस प्रोडक्शन एंड टोटल रेस्पिरेशन, इस लाइन का बस मतलब बता दीजिए.
Okay, so the energy which is being used in the respiration processes, so वो भी हम कल डिस्कस करेंगे उसके बारे में. We'll discuss about net primary productivity and gross primary productivity. We'll discuss about that. तब आपको समझ में
जो लास्ट 4th पॉइंट था, क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी आर रिप्लेस्ड बाय सेम काइंड ऑफ स्पीशीज, कैन यू गिव मी एन एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस?
Same kind of species means, for example, if lion is not there, then someone of the same family or maybe as equivalent as lion will cover that area. I mean, we are not talking about a change in the species. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. थर्ड वाला पॉइंट एक बार कल बता दीजिएगा, मैम. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure.